Hi guys, how are you all today morning? Good morning. Today is 14th September 2022. My name is trsv Raghavan and I live in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. I am a published author with Amazon Kindle and paperback. I write on spiritualism, fiction, and assorted subjects. Spiritualism happens to be my favorite subject. This is my spiritual vlog on YouTube. Haribol trsv nectar nectar nectar. In this particular vlog, we have been discussing in the previous videos about the knowledge and information that we gleaned by the study of spiritual books, scriptures, contemplation on the material universe, and meditation on the spiritual universe. This particular video is no exception to that rule. In fact, it is only an extension of what we have been doing before. In the past few videos, we have been discussing about action, reaction, and the four layers of the body of a human living entity and how it affects the performance of a particular living entity in whatever he or she wants to do. Today, I would like to give you a story or narrate you a particular apocryphal story which may not be true, it may be fictional, but it goes a long way to enlighten people like us. Before I go into the story, let me remind you of a very famous proverb in Hindi and Urdu. It is like this: खुद को कर बुलंद इतना कि खुद खुदा तुझसे पूछे, बता बंदे तेरी रजा क्या है. That means that try to elevate yourself to such an extent that one day God Himself comes to you and asks you, man, why are you improving yourself to such an extent? What is your desire? This particular story will prove this point in its own way. It goes like this. There was a very gentle, noble, pious, but poor Brahmana who lived in a small hut with his wife in the outskirts of a kingdom in the jungle. This Brahmana was not very educated, but he was quite diligent. He managed to cram up several spiritual books, scriptures, hymns, mantras, verses, etc. It was his only job all day long. However, he was quite poor and he managed to eke a living with his wife. One day, his wife told him, I heard that the king in the nearby kingdom wants courtiers for his courts. Why don't you also go there and try your luck? For all you know, you may become a courtier there. The Brahmana agreed and went to the kingdom. The king was a very noble and a knowledgeable person himself. He respected knowledge and knowledgeable persons. When this Brahmana was called, this guy only recited several verses, etc., that he had mugged up. The king smiled. Because of his own intelligence and erudition, he knew that this Brahmana was just a tape recorder. So he gently called this Brahmana and said, Sir, I would like to have you in my court. However, I feel that you should brush up your knowledge about scriptures a little more and then come back. The Brahmana got slighted, but he still did not lose heart. He went home and studied the same scriptures carefully. After a while, he went back to the court. This time, the king found that the Brahmana was indeed quite knowledgeable. However, the king again told this Brahmana kindly, politely, but firmly, Sir, I appreciate your knowledge, but still I think that I cannot keep you in my court. The Brahmana felt very insulted. He thought that the king had some axe to grind in not appointing this Brahmana in the court. This Brahmana left in a huff and went home. He could not find out what mistake he had done. However, to just pass his time, this time he took the scriptures and began reading them carefully. Hours passed into days. Days passed into weeks, months, years, etc. But the Brahmana was so immersed into the scriptures that he could not think of anything else in the world. His wife was astonished and a little pained. One night, one guy knocked the door of the hut. The Brahmana was still reading. The wife was doing her household chores. When there was a knock at the door, he went and opened it. Lo and behold, there stood the king himself. This woman was surprised, but before she could open her mouth or ejaculate, the king told her, I was roaming around in the village, in the forest, while doing some hunting, when I saw a light from your house. I wondered what this light was and where it emanated from. So I came here to inquire. The lady said, Sire, Your Majesty, it is coming from the forehead of the same person who you had refused to appoint in your court. The king laughed. I was waiting for just this moment. I did not want such a nice and knowledgeable person to come to my court looking for a job. Actually, I wanted to come here to invite your husband to join my court and be one of my most precious diamonds. The lady said, Please, sir, try because my husband does not even talk to me. He only keeps studying and reveling in his knowledge. The king went, bowed before the Brahmana, and requested that that person should grace the king's court. The Brahmana agreed and went there and became a diamond, a precious jewel in the crown of the king. However, with knowledge, he had become quite humble and wise. I am telling you this story because in my previous video, I told you about third time lucky. Here, in the first instance, the Brahmana was using his etheric senses to cram up the knowledge so that he could earn a decent living. In the second case, he used his astral mind to gather some knowledge which he could again use in the court to earn a decent living. However, in the third case, he at last came to the level of using his causal intelligence to go deep into what he was learning, and he got so engrossed that he forgot why he was learning this scripture. This is a lesson to all of us. The moment we begin using our causal intelligence to do our work becomes our own reward. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफल हेतुर्भुर् मा ते संगोत्सव कर्मणि. That means you have the right to do your duty, but you don't have the right to decide about the results. Never ever try to shun your duties, and never ever get attached to laziness. You have the free will to use your etheric senses, astral mind, causal body, or a permutation and combination of all three to do your karma intelligently and diligently. Leave the rest to God. Kindly let me know what you think of my talk on this particular subject. If you feel that I am talking sense, please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so that I can keep reminding you of my other videos. Please give me your own priceless views, opinions, thoughts, etc., so that we may join everything together and make out something which is beneficial to the whole society. Till we meet next time in my next video, it is good morning from TSV Raghavan.